Hello, everybody. Oh, wait. Here we are. The Lord Magicus here, back for another rousing round of Merfolk and Modern, as usual. So, yeah, let's take a look. Give everybody a second to catch up here. So, everything looks like it should be fine. All right, there we go. Yep, so we're here to play some fishies, and we got some more fishies. Same as last week, only one minor change. I moved. Oh, whoops. Yeah, we gotta fix this. So I was looking. It's like, where's the card that I moved? We kind of need that one. There we go. Yeah, I moved the third Dismember from the sideboard to the main deck and cut a Svyelun because I wanted room to add the fourth Chalice of the Void. And that's mostly just because I am so afraid of Boros Energy that I really want to go all in on this Chalice strategy. So here's hoping that it actually does something. I'm wondering if this might also be correct to bring in against like the Dimir Murktide decks. Just because it turns off like a lot of their removal and also like their cantrip. They turn they do have a fair number of cards that it actually does hit. So like no preordains, no like spell snares or fatal pushes or inquisitions or stern scolding. So there's a decent amount of cards that this blocks against them. So it might be worth considering, but really, for the Murktide deck, we want to bring in Harbinger and Trickster to help with that. So I don't know. I don't think the counter spells are not typically very good versus them. They do have like Deluge, which sucks. So it's not exactly easy to figure out what the best way to deal with that match is, but we'll try. We'll figure it out when we get there. But yeah, we have the tools, I think. I think like these are all the right cards that we want. We just have to figure out how we want to play them. So, all right, let's go. Modern League, let's get some some playtime in here and enjoy ourselves. Hopefully it goes well. I think things are still kind of shaking out a little bit, so it's hard to know exactly what Modern's up to at the moment, but we're going to find out. That's why we're here. We're going to find out one way or the other. I still feel a little like apprehensive about this because I don't exactly know what I'm walking into just yet. But yeah, these are the risks that we take. So okay, well we are on the play against I'm Joshing You. This hand seems great. Keep it. Against Gigantha. Okay, well that's probably not ideal. I think we're gonna play Tide Shaper. That way, if we need Flare of Denial for whatever reason, we could use. I guess we have Force of Negation too, but the other thing is like it might. There's this. It's possible like for some reason they're playing like a counter spell, they might leave it up if they don't know about Cavern of Souls. So we can probably pitch Flare to Force most likely, unless they. This is. I mean, I think this is actually worth countering. That thing is a pain in the ass. If I have to force something, I'll probably just pitch the Dockhand. I mean, it's never really ideal to have to throw away your creatures, but this will get out of hand very fast. This is one of the reasons we want our Chalice of the Void. There's Raptor. I think if they play a removal spell, I have to force it, right? Goblin Bombardment, yeah, we don't have a choice. We have to force that shit. Well, the good news is they can't block here, but the bad news is we're in a really bad spot. I guess maybe if we draw like Kira, that might be okay. Oh, that's bad. Yeah. I don't think we're winning game one. Like, Boros is already bad. They kept like a pretty good 7 like card hand that curves out here, and we're certainly not attacking this turn. And I think, oh look, okay, this is really bold. Yeah, I was gonna say if we draw another land, like the game is basically over. Like, I don't think that there's any way we're just winning with this. Like, our best hope is that we counter like 1 or 2 spells, and that the rest of their hand is just not terribly good for whatever reason. But no, their hand is actually very good. They have a nice curve here, and tons of stuff. Like, they're gonna curve into Flage for sure. Yeah, and we can just play some blockers, and Master's not gonna be doing shit. Just put Gigantha in hand. That's surprising. I don't understand that. That doesn't seem like there's no possible way that could be good, right? Is their plan to just get this thing back? But they're not quite there yet. I guess what they surveil land here, but they still need 1 more, so yeah, or they surveil something here. They could just play another fetch land, I guess, and then Flage will just end the game. They discard Bowmaster. See, this is a really interesting thing to know here. Harbinger of the Seas is probably very effective because they're playing 3 colors now. Okay, yeah, I think the game's over here because now they're gonna just bring it back and we're dead. There's no possible way we can defeat it at this point. Uh, I don't think that I don't like the counter spells for this. Let's see. Like, I don't think many of the creatures are that good either. The only other thing I would consider is like maybe subtlety or maybe like 1 or 2 flares just because of Flage, but I think we're just hoping that that's never a thing in the first place. All right. We need to have a very good hand to stop them here. This I think actually qualifies. They've mulled to 6. Okay. So hopefully Chalice will hurt them enough, and then we can buy enough time to play Lords and succeed. Probably play like an Ocelot Pride or something. Guide of Souls. Okay. Chalice. Good. And dismember this thing and then play a Lord, most likely. If their hand is full of 1-drops, then this will probably just win the game by itself. But they could still have like some like Raptor or something. The important thing is it turns off most of their removal spells, so we can actually stick creatures, like, hopefully. That's the idea. Like, they can play... Okay, well, that's bad. I probably need to kill that thing. Because I can't afford that to flip. Yeah, if I don't kill this thing right now, uh, what's the worst that could happen? Yeah, I don't want to have them be any possible chance that they can flip this bitch. No, thank you. So one thing to note, some of these energy decks are now playing like copies of Aether Hub to give them energy too. They might just have another one. Or that Raptor hopefully just plays a 1-drop. Of course. Alright, well, that's not great. They'll probably just pump this up. Like, this is getting out of... Like, this is what I mean. This is getting out of hand very fast. The best thing we can do is play Svyelun and hopefully draw, like, a Harbinger of the Tides. That's actually not bad. I think I might want to play that as a creature. They chose not to go upstairs. Because I'll play this as a land, so I can at least play two lords next turn. But like our hopes and dreams, we need them to be stuck on like 1-mana spells. But the fact that they just have like so much interaction here, like they found Flage and this fucking Thraben Charm, this is a huge problem. We like need Harbinger, right? I don't think there's a way that we're winning without Harbinger here. This match is so fucking bad. Like it's incredibly terrible. All right, we're dead. Like this thing is gonna kill us. Like it was hopeless. I don't. There's no good way for us to attack that deck. Like it has way too much removal and way too many aggressive, powerful creatures. And yeah, it's we can try all we want, but like it's just really really rough. You like a splash color probably gives you the best chance, but the problem with the splash colors, and you're also hurting your chances versus a lot of other decks, is you're removing copies of like Cavern of Souls, which you really need against like the Dimir decks. They are playing a number of counter spells that will counter your creatures and makes it very difficult. So like you try to fix it versus one, it's gonna hurt you versus another. There's not a good answer to it. I don't like this, but we just have yeah, we have to kind of get lucky that there doesn't go that way. So we only have one land, so I'm not keeping this. We will definitely keep this. Do not know what we're up against here. Keeping 7 cards. I think I'm going to just put a Lord in the bottom, because I'll probably cast the Tide Shaper and then end up vialing this stuff in. This is why I'm apprehensive about this format right now, because Boros is a huge problem, and we don't really have a good way to deal with it. I mean, they'll probably I don't know, they'll probably take one of these two. I would assume probably the Tide Shaper first, because it will turn off Urborg. But then they'll probably keep up removal for the Harbinger, so... They go for the Harbinger, that's interesting. So I guess maybe they just have, like, more swamps or something. Alright, let's hope that... Let's see what we're up against. So this is probably the Cabal Coffers deck. Spellbomb, sure. We got Inquisition. I mean, they're just gonna take my master anyway, but like I don't have a there's nothing I don't have a choice. I have to let this happen. I mean, this is also possibly the Necro Dominance deck. So because they would have Urza Saga and they can find this and that might make sense. I'm gonna tick Vial up to 3, I think, and then I can always put Specimen into play. There's Urza's Saga. Sure, the spell bomb is not important. Drawing a Harbinger would be very good here. I would actually shock myself to protect it. That's also not bad. I don't think my life total is actually that important. I'll probably just make a construct this turn. Make a flare up at least. Well, put this in play. This means that if I need to play a creature, I guess I can sacrifice this to flare to protect any 2-drop that I play. It's not a great position. Like, we can't really attack here. So they're going to have like a 2/2. So we draw a Lord or something. Funeral Charm. I guess they're playing copies of the rack. That's what must be going on here. Which I'm surprised that they didn't just do this on our draw step. Well, this is good. We can attack with Island Walk now. We can make their 2/2. They're probably just going to get the rack and start going to town that way. That'd be my guess. I think if we find another Island Walk Lord, we're actually not in bad position to race this. Yeah, so you're going to have a 4/4. We're at 14 because of the rack. Yep. Factory. Okay, well, this is going to be a little bit rough. I can't block that. I kind of have to draw a Lord here. I guess Svyelun would also be pretty good. Alright. Yeah, we're kind of fucked. Like, that was not a terribly good draw. Like, we're not beating the constructs here. We don't really have anything for it. This is not a very good day for Magic the Gathering. Okay, that's gonna be like I'm not defeating this board plus taking 3 damage from that. Well, the good news is that Chalice is probably decent against them, and the Tempo Bears are also probably good. Spreading Seas is also probably good. What is not good against them? Dismember seems really bad. I don't know that Kira is going to be that relevant. Like, they do have some removal, I guess, but... guessing is probably not that important. Also not clear that Hexcatcher is that important either. I guess the counter spells are kind of dangerous. I can keep Mape. What do I do here? Keep like 2 Dismembers just in case they have like Bowmasters or Shieldred. I think I just want to try to aggro them out. We're going to keep this. We'll put Vial in play, and hopefully that'll be enough. They've mulled to 5. Okay. They are timed to top deck. If Okay, well, they just gave up. All right. I'm going to draw. Ugh. You know what? I'm just thinking if I want Kira here or not. It might actually be worth it. Maybe we'll do it like that. I don't think the Chalice is quite as good in the draw. They just had a really bad mulligan and just, alright, we take it, I guess. Boros is everywhere, run for the hills. Yeah, you're correct. Like, we're trying. Oh, fuck. The problem is, like, if we were on the play, I think I could keep this because I could play the Vial, but the thing is, they're just going to take our land and we're dead, so we cannot keep that. We can keep this. Put Otawara on the bottom. Alright. I mean, Svyelun is a pretty good card against them, so, like, for sure they're going to Inquisition us, but they probably have to take Harbinger. Like, both of these cards are dangerous to them. This keeps them from ever getting their Urza Sagas off, so they probably take this first, but... Oh, they take the Svyelun. Okay, well, that might mean that they have another thing ready for the Harbinger. Alright, sure, we'll play Minamo and pass. They know about these 4 cards. Sure. Yep, there's another one. We knew it. They kept 7 cards, so yeah, that's not great. Pithing Needle. Okay, what are you going to name? Like Aether Vial, I presume? I don't think we're in a Vial game here anyway. They could name Mutavault, actually. They do name Aether Vial. Okay. It's not the worst thing that could have happened. Play the Master. We can keep these up for when they make their constructs. I may not play the 3rd land until I actually draw a 3-drop. I'm going to get rid of this, just because if I draw Harbinger, I want to be able to play it. Okay. Sure. Harbinger off the top would be the sickest fucking rip. You know what? That's still pretty good. Because that keeps them off of them getting their stupid, thing here. We'll play Mutavault, I guess. That's fine. Yeah, they don't get to find their... Sure, I guess. They're gonna retrace us, so we have to put everything in play now. That's actually really good. Good. No more retracing. Now this is a winnable game. They're top decking, we're top decking. They can't play the rack off the top. They are also in a position where we could attack with the Mutavault or them tricks. I don't know if I want to do that yet. There's not really a good reason to. We're protected from a lot of their spells now. Like they can't take this away with discard, and they don't have removal up. They can't play their artifacts. Like we've disrupted a huge amount of what they're doing to us. It's not lights out. Like, they still have things that they can do, but we have to be careful because that's a 3/3 blocker right now, so I'm going to need a little bit of help first. That's probably not going to do it. Sure, there's a Bowmasters. The good news is that if they ever attack with the Bowmasters, we can just, like, block it with Mutavault. Alright, well, that's a factory, I guess. I guess we'll just keep this one from hitting us right now. We really need some help, though. Okay. Because that thing's going to start smacking us for 3 a turn. I could really use, like, Svyelun here. Actually, that's not bad either. Okay. Sure. So this can still attack us. We can trade the Mutavault with it. They have 1 card in hand. This might mean they have another Bowmasters. Yeah, they do. So they trade their army token with this thing. It's not good. Alright, Harbinger would... We need fucking Harbinger here. Like, we can't win this match without Harbinger. These fucking Mishra's factories are just gonna destroy us. Like, I have to stop top decking lands. Like, they're getting relevant cards and we're not. Time to top deck for us, not them. Oh my god. Does this mean they seriously have another one of these Bowmasters off the top? I can't play around them having it. If you just top deck 3 Bowmasters in a row, good for you, opponent. Like, this is fantastic. Like, my entire existence. Where were you when I needed you? Would have been so good last turn. Alright. Well, okay. So, they only have 1 Bowman left in the deck. These are turned off. Like, I need them not to have, like, another Edict or something. Can I draw creatures before they get rid of this thing somehow? They are not even brave enough to make this attack. There's no way. Yeah. No. Well, the good news for us is that we continue to flood out, so this is just my life, I guess. We're at turn 11 here. And they just drew a swamp, so that's not bad. Oh, whoops. Yeah, oops. Yeah, I can't play the Cavern of Souls is offline because of Chalice. So Tide Shaper is actually useless right now. Yeah. Okay, well they drew something else that's probably a 1-drop stuck in their hand. This is actually pretty good here. Okay. Specimen is fine. We can actually play that if they ever try to kill the Harbinger. We just need to top deck like Svyelun. Then we can maybe or maybe a Lord, would it be good? We can start making progress here. Engineered explosives on 0. Oh god, we're fucked. Yeah, they found EE and they're gonna get rid of Chalice here. If I had not pissed away my Tide Shaper, I might actually have a chance. Oh, that's bad. Okay, well, the good news is that we do not have one or fewer cards in hand. So I can still play the Specimen, but now their removal's all unlocked, so this is dangerous. My opponent has just found like ridiculously better cards than me. So yeah. It's bad. I can't afford to sacrifice Harbinger or we're dead, so we've like flooded hard. They're just gonna keep retracing us every time that they draw something. That's also pointless. This is gonna make us discard a card, and yeah. They'll probably retrace me again. I think we're losing this game because this was also like a terrible, terrible top deck. I mean, we did fuck ourselves by throwing away this Tide Shaper. That actually could make a significant difference here right now. I'm assuming they have Fatal Push, but like, I don't have a choice. If they drew the 4th Bowmasters, I'm conceding. You know what? I don't want to fight against this. We're dead. We cannot, like, that's too much. We had a chance, but like the deck just did not come together for us there. It just fell apart. Too many mana sources, not enough threats in like the critical turns. We had like 4 or 5 turns where we could have like drawn like Svyelun or something and just actually like gotten there, but tonight is not our night. That sucks because I feel like, you know, yeah, we had such a good chance there. Oh well, this is life. That one mistake with Tide Shaper was like, I don't know if it was enough to change the game, but it was definitely possible. So that feels extra bad because like, yeah, that was potentially winnable. All right, well, we get to be on the draw for this. Is it ever my night? It doesn't feel like it. All right, I guess I'm keeping this. They're keeping 7 cards. This is not great, honestly. We have 4 lands. One of them's Mutavault at least. Preordain. Okay, so this is probably like Murktide, I'm guessing. The only good news is that if they're playing Psychic Frog, then we can kill it with Dismember, most likely. Play the Otawara so that way they don't know what we're up to yet. I'm not going to do it on my turn. I want to play the Hexcatcher on their turn. They got Thundering Falls, okay. So if we can encourage them to, because if they don't have a basic mountain in play when we get this Harbinger out, well, that might be good enough. Bunch of dirty blue players. Yeah, well, we're hoping that if they can't fetch out basic mountain here and that this Harbinger survives, we might actually, like, that might be enough to defeat them. They may not be able to cast anything relevant for the rest of the game. This is blue-red. Like, there's a very strong chance this could just be, like, maybe blue-red Murktide. Or it could, maybe the Grixis version. Who knows? We might see Dragon's Rage Channeler, which could be fine because we can dismember it. The thing is, we want to play Hexcatcher, and we want to hope that they tap out dealing with Hexcatcher. Expressive Iteration. Okay, sure. I think that's fine, actually. I could counter it, but I think the thing is, they're only going to have 1 mana left, so if they leave up 1 mana for Hexcatcher, I can hopefully just counter whatever they're doing here. Depends on whether they play another fetch land. Oh, they're playing Ragavan? Okay, that's actually fine. Yeah, that's cool. I don't even think I play Hexcatcher now. I'm pretty sure I just dismember this thing. And hopefully that's going to be enough. Now they can't play any other removal spells. Something might actually be going our way for a chance. And then next turn we can just play 2 lords, and they might have a bunch of counter spells, which would kind of suck. Let's see. They can play like Preordains, and they can play Preordain and like counterspell, and that's about it. Let's see. Well, there's a Murktide. All right. I mean, it's not unbeatable. I'm assuming they have like 1 counterspell here. So I can play. Actually, hold on. Let me play Mutavault first. I can play Master the Pearl Trident. They can try to counter it, and I'll use Hexcatcher to counter that. Oh, that sucks. Alright. Hopefully they don't have 2 spell snares. They have fucking 2 spell snares. What am I gonna do? Alright. I was playing around them having 1 counter spell, not 2 spell snares. Fuck me, I guess. Ugh. That was just insane. Sometimes they just have it all, I guess. Alright. Well, we already used 1 Otawara. We do have some spells that can interact with this thing. But if I want any chance, like this has to resolve, and then I have to get. I have a 2-turn clock here, so they have like Subtlety. That's also very bad for us. We went from having very good winning chances to double spell snare on us, and like with 2 mana up was just insane. I feel like they have Subtlety. And the problem is if they have Subtlety, we're dead anyway, because they're going to kill us in 2 turns, and we do not have a clock that can kill us in 2 turns. Okay, well, they don't play it in block, so that's good. That means there's a chance. So if I find, like, Island Walk Lord, then that's 6, and then potentially they put us to 6 here. So they need 2 turns to kill us. We could theoretically kill them with Island Walk. That's also very good. Hey, play Kira, because Kira is a blocker here. I hope they don't have yet another counterspell. If they have, like, another Murktide Regent, that could be an issue. Um... This is not beating another Murktide. So we have to go to 1 here. Alright, well, we need something. That's probably not enough. I need to draw, like, Otawara. It's really my only hope. I can't cast Dismember in this anymore, so... I guess another Kira keeps us alive for another turn. Or, Sink into Stupor also would work. We have that as an out. That's not going to be it. Tried, but we could not get back into it with that. Alright. Well, we do have these things that will help us here. So that's kind of a plus. Honestly, I don't like the counter spells in this match at all. Oops. No, we want that. Honestly, I might even consider some Chalices here just because they do run heavy in 1-drops. Like, they have bolts and Ragavans and stuff. Actually, this is good with. It's rough. This is like, we are just like getting our shit pushed in today. Just running out of steam at the worst possible times. Yeah, this is fine. We'll keep this. This threatens to do the thing. They start off with Ragavan or Dragon's Rage Channeler. We can dismember it. And we just need 1 land to get to Harbinger range, and then... So they're going to look at themselves. So they want to see if they want to fetch, I guess. Okay, well, they seem to like whatever card's on top. No, they don't. Okay, second main. I guess they changed their mind. They're going to shock it away after all. Okay, Darcy, sure. Well, no thank you. See what they want to do here. Sure, Unholy Heat. What do you get? What else? Island. Okay, well, if we draw the land, I'm fucking windmill slamming this Harbinger of the Seas. Unfortunately, we do not draw the land. I think the Lords are, like, the least valuable thing in our hand here, so that's the thing I'm most willing to play. I want to save, like, the Trickster and Harbinger for later if I can. That would have been a very good turn to draw a 3rd land, but, again, we can only get the lands when we don't need them, and then when we do, then they just don't want to come. That's life sometimes. Okay, sure, Unholy Heat. Well, they're not doing anything else. This just looks like Murktide, which, again, if we find land here, a land would have actually been fucking fantastic, because, again, the shields were down. We could have just got this Harbinger out without removal on deck, but... Actually, I might have even just played the Kira, to be honest, because the Kira would have been uncounterable. Like, they don't have counterspell for it, and they wouldn't have been able to spell snare it, so... Not that good at magic, I guess. Sure, Channeler. There is no way that you are blocking this. Why are you doing this? Well, they've already gone through 2 heats, so we're just hoping that they just don't have more removal. The problem is, like, I'm not going to have a good way to get this Kira into play without being countered. If I draw another Cavern of Souls, I might actually, like, be inclined to play that. Alright, well, I guess we're just attacking and hoping for the best. I don't think they have anything. I think they just have some counter spells and not much else. Okay, what are you going to do? They could hard cast Subtlety, but I feel like if they had it, they probably would have used it already. Interesting. They choose to use it here. I don't really need this thing. Like, at this rate, we might just win, you know, just normally. I don't really want to bounce this back to their hand. I think I want to wait until their turn and just use Dismember in this thing. Okay. I don't think that the Channeler is not that important here. If they had removal spells, they would have used them already, so... That's a little bit fucking late, isn't it? Okay. Alright, let's see what they're doing here. I mean, I guess they could play Subtlety here, but that doesn't actually win them the game unless they have to have, like, exactly Subtlety plus Lightning Bolt. But this will threaten to win the game by itself. This is gonna... Well, yeah, this is gonna have to attack, right? So... Cast into the fire. Okay, are they gonna try to double cast me here? I guess they were just hoping... what were they hoping for? Yeah, because dealing 1 damage to each of these things is not going to do anything useful. All right, somehow we got there on the basis of just having 2 lands. Now the thing is, like, I don't know, Chalice of the Void is fine. Like, it's okay against them, but it's also, they can play around it if they know that we have it. Which I don't think they've seen it yet, so they may not. They did show us cast into the fire, so maybe maybe it's not going to be that effective if we know that they're going to use that. That's fair. Which in that case, and how would we want to attack this? We know it might not have been a good idea to show us that card. I guess they were just trying to surveil to see what they had here. I guess maybe Subtlety is a little bit better. Even the Dockhand might be okay. I'm gonna go with the Subtlety just because If we get to the point in the game where they're like casting subtlety to try to like go for a win, then ours might be alright. This is a fucking terrible hand. They kept 7. We have to mulligan it. This one is fine. We can keep this. I think Hexcatcher is probably the worst card here. This is actually pretty good. You can curve up into Vial here, so. Well, Ragavan's going to get to hit us, which is not ideal. If they try to exile my Aether Vial, we still have mana to actually cast these cards. This is a problem, though, because, like, Ragavan backed up by, like, lightning bolts and stuff is a very difficult start to beat. And Ragavan undermines Harbinger of the Seas by a lot because of these treasure tokens. This is where having something like Kara would actually be really good to put into play before Harbinger. Ooh, fuck, that's not good. We're also vulnerable to counterspell here. The Ragavan is going to attack us, so like we really want to play a creature. The problem is, like, if they have a spell snare or something, we're in a lot of trouble. They have 4 cards. Like, what are the odds that they don't have a counterspell? It seems so low. If they have it, I should probably make them do it on their own turn. Put Murktide in the graveyard. I'm going to do this in the upkeep. It's because it's less likely they'll have a spell snare or something. They might. I expect that they have at least one. Yeah. There's nothing I can do about it, though. I have to just, like, do it, so. Them being on the play with Ragavan and us not having Dismember is just a brutal start, so. It's about as well as our night is going. And again, not having... This is what I mean. Like, we have 3 Caverns in our deck, and, like, the blue-black version is lucky if they can play, like, 1 or 2. Not... If we had Cavern of Souls here, do you see how much difference this would make? Like, the Spell Snare would be totally useless. The problem is that we don't, and now they're getting another treasure, which is going to further undermine Harbinger of the Seas, which means if we ever play it, they still have treasures to throw away to make tokens with it, so it's fucked. And with like those being 2 of the most popular decks right now, it's very hard to build something that's not going to suck versus both of them. The answers that you need for one are kind of not amazing versus the other, I guess. Like, I want to have I want to have Cavern of Souls to defeat like all of these spell snares that are out here right now, because they're playing a lot of these because of the Boros deck. But at the same time, they also hit a lot of our stuff when we don't have, when we're on the draw with Vial or we don't have our Cavern of Souls. So it's always a feel bad, and I don't like playing without Cavern. But if we don't splash a color, then we don't have the removal to deal with Boros, so I don't know what to do. I think we got really lucky versus Boros last time. Okay, were they gonna... Oh, they're casting Specimen here? Okay. So here's my problem. They have 3 things here. They have 1 more Spell Snare or a Bolt. Like, this is so bad. But again, I don't have a better option at the moment, so... I'm just hoping they don't have exactly like Lightning Bolt. Well, that's Delirium, so if they have Unholy Heat now, that's going to be bad too. I'm praying that they don't have like Cast in the Fire. We're completely sunk by like one removal spell right now. But I have to just get the stuff off the board because if I can get rid of Ragavan, then I have a much better chance here. No, they have it. Don't they have Lightning Bolt? Shot. Fuck. Well, Ragavan goes away at least. If they have Murktide, I have to use the Subtlety. Of course they have another one. Why would they not have another one? Well, they had the Bolt, so what are we doing? I leave that on too. Sure. 3 cards. I don't feel good about this. I suspect that they're trying to set up another Murktide Regent right now, so I want to keep Subtlety up just for when they do that. Which means I think if they're only attacking with that, then sure. All right. This is this is good. Because now they have no spells left for this thing. I will take this up now because I can play a 2-drop here easily. Think the best thing to do is we attack with Harbinger and Mutavault, and then just play or Mutavault and Subtlety. Play Harbinger, bounce this Dragon's Rage Channeler. It slows them down the most and adds the most pressure to the board. Just in case they have Subtlety or something, I would rather know about it before I commit an attack. So if they're going to pitch cast Subtlety, I want to know about it. And this is something, okay, yeah, we're definitely going to bounce this thing. All right, get in 6. All right, this is good, and we're making progress here. Depends on what their last 2 cards are here. It probably won't block Ragavan if it attacks. That's interesting. What does that mean? They have creature, artifact. They don't have delirium yet, so I'm just not. I don't think I'm supposed to block this, right? I have 9. I do have lethal right now, so they have to present something or they die. Let's see if they have a lightning. If they have unholy heat, they'll probably just kill the Lord of Atlantis. I think I can afford to let them hit me here. Because right now, I'm killing them with what's on the board. Oh fuck, they flipped Kira. That's a really good one. If we draw another Lord, like, we could still kill them through Kira, but or they can play it and block Subtlety so they don't actually die, but they can go to 1 from that. That's still probably good enough. Alright. So they might not be playing Kira. The only thing we have to worry about is if they have, like, a bolt. But I think if they had one, they would have used it already. I don't know, it may be possible. They gotta do something, though. They could play, like, another Murktide, but... Alright, Pyroclasm? Oh, that's fucking brutal. Alright. It's not the end of the world, actually. Okay, they play that, sure. Well, alright, so them having that, now that changes it a little bit. Okay. That's not bad. Can trade this subtleties off with this thing. You know what? If they don't want to block, then sure. Alright, we'll both be at 9 here. I have Specimen here. So I can animate the Mutavault, block this thing, and then if they try to bolt Mutavault, then this takes care of it. Pyroclasm was a pretty sick rip here. Nothing? Okay, sure, I'm not going to do anything either. Does this change the math? It actually might. Well, it might be relevant because if I activate Vial, I might want to cast it in response. Alright, this has gotten close, but, like, we're not in a good spot here because the opponent might actually, like, have stuff, so... What are they not doing? Like, what's stuck in their hands? It could just be a bunch of counter spells. It's not land. I mean, I guess it could be removal spells. Does this matter? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Sure, you exile Aether Vial. Again, they could have, like, counterspell here, which would suck. It can't target this thing, right? So... Alright, well, I guess if they have counterspell, they have to use it on this thing. They don't have counterspell, so maybe they're holding Spell Snare. I do have to, again, if they have another Murktide, that's going to make life hard, but doesn't seem like it. The good news is we get to put this back on 2, and we don't have to take it up until we need it to 3. Okay. I do feel like they probably have Unholy Heat, and they just don't want to use it on this specimen because it's really bad. So there's not really a good reason to animate Mutavault just yet. They might also be holding on Bolt to try to throw at my face at some point. The point at which we get like another, like a Lord or something, then I will animate Mutavault. And this is kind of the bait to see if they have something interesting. Okay. Yep, we knew that they had Bolt. Okay. I don't think there's any universe in which they're attacking. Could have another Unholy Heat or something. I think we leave this on 2 for right now. So we have a good reason to tick it up. That's a really good reason to tick it up. This screams to me that they don't have more removal. They just have more counter spells. Probably Spell Snare is my guess. And they just don't have anything good to use it on. Yeah, Iteration is... I'm not happy to see that. That's a really good top deck for them. We do have to be careful because we could lose to something like... what if we tick Vial up and we don't have a way to bounce a Murktide? That could get really ugly really quickly. This will be... Yeah, they'll have enough spells, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'll, yeah, come in as 7. So Dismember is not going to really help. Get Bobble. They're choosing to look at my top card. Oh, that's actually fine. think I'm going to leave this on 2 because they don't have Counterspell up now, so I can just cast Kira. And then if I draw a 2-drop, that's much better for us. They probably know that we're not going to. I think that's why they would do this. I don't know why they have Charmaw here, but you know what? I'm not going to argue it. Okay. All right, we have Kira in play, so we're in a good spot. I think that wasn't a terribly good draw for them. Trickster, I think, would be really good. All right, what are the odds they have Subtlety here? I think we just have to hope that they don't. That's not a good sign. I mean, they had to have just drawn it, right? Because they definitely just like got this threat off of the iteration. So like they literally must have just top decked both of these threats in the last turn. Which really sucks for us. So now we're going to 1 here. So what? They're at 4. If they attack with both things, we need to draw exactly a Lord in order to win, and they have to not have Lightning Bolt. I think they're only going to attack with Subtlety, right? That's the thing that makes the most sense. If that happens, if that's the case, we need like Trickster. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I guess Harbinger could also be fine. Here, I think we do want to tick Vial up to 3. Because if we find another Kira, I want to put it into play without the fear of Counterspell. Alright. That's not irrelevant. Alright, so here's the deal. They either have a Counterspell or they don't. They could also have a Bolt, but I think if they had a Bolt, we'd be dead, and I think if they had Unholy Heat, we'd also be dead. So I think, what do we do? Let them draw first. I mean, if they have it, they have it. Like, we're going to die no matter what, so let's just hope that they don't. They either have it or not, so. This either keeps us alive this turn, or we're dead. Yeah, opponent had a very, very good turn. Like, this has been our whole night. Like, you know, our opponent's just like out-drawing us at, like, the critical turn, like, all 3 rounds so far, I think. But, alright, let's see. Yeah, we're just hoping to fade Counterspell here, and then fade removal as well, because if they have a Bolt, then, or if they have an Unholy Heat, then we're dead. This thing has to block here. And then our best draw, okay. Our best draw would be like a Lord to Island Walk to victory. Okay. Now that... Oh, they're just drawing a card. Alright. This thing is literally just cycling right now. I don't like the fact that they're paying costs, so we have Bolt. Alright. This is our entire fucking existence today. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even want to be playing at this point. This is just miserable. This is kind of what I expected to happen last league, but I don't know, like, the last league went a lot better. I think it was because it was, like, the first week, but, like, I think people are getting a better idea of what they want to do to attack stuff, and especially tonight, things are just not going our way, so I already feel like I'm off of this. I don't know. Part of it for me is, like, I really intensely dislike Psychic Frog as a card because of just... It feels very much like... what? How do I put it? It's being played in, like, everything that it possibly can be played, and it's like, it's very hard to play and not, like, the format not revolve around that card right now, so... But it's like that, and then Modern's like that. It's revolving around that, which I already don't like, and then Boros Energy is just, like, so bad for us, so... To me, it feels like trying to play fairly is just a losing proposition. Alright, alright. Opponent said hi, good luck. Alright, well, we're gonna keep this, I guess. We have Vial. We have another land if we really need it, but I don't know, it does feel like I am not, like, in a comfortable spot trying to play fair Magic at the moment. Like, it just doesn't feel like it's worth trying, because I think that if you want to do that, playing, like, something like Murktide is probably the best way to go, or if you want... That is, again, the terrible fucking draw. Why would we draw that? That's awful. Or, yeah, if you want to play, like, aggro, you have to kind of play Boros, right? Like, and it's so hard not to do either of those things at the moment. The cards are just too powerful. Like, the synergy... I don't like the synergy is not nearly as good now, so... Look, there's the frog. It's so bad. I have to cast this Sink into Stupor on this thing. But I'm probably not going to have lands to, like, actually do that, so... It's going to take over the game one way or the other. Like, yeah, look, if I want any hope in this game, I have to play this as a land. I have to get, like, these vials online. This thing is just going to draw them a bajillion cards, and we don't have any good way to interact with it. Even Dismember is, like, really, really risky, because they can just dump a ton of cards into it, and then we're shit out of luck. Oh my god, they're discarding Atraxa, and alright, we're dead. They just vengeanced us. If we lose this match, we're not playing the fifth one. We're just going to call this, like, a complete and utter failure. Alright, well, this is why we want Harbinger, but, like... I don't even feel like I want Svyelun in my deck anymore. She doesn't feel like she's doing what she's supposed to. Like, the Trickster's not really much better. I don't think I want Kira. Like, I don't like the Dismember either, because it's yeah, it doesn't feel like it does what I want it to do. I mean, it goes after the frog, I guess, but yeah, that's not ideal. Alright, I guess. This is terrible. Sure, this is about as good as it's gonna get. They turned 2'd us, we had, like, nothing for this, so... Like, even if they didn't just Atraxa us on turn 2, the Psychic Frog by itself is already going to be insanely difficult to defeat. Maybe, like, this card probably needs to be in the main deck, because it feels like there's too many situations where we're just not able to even compete without it, so... But, I guess like, Harbinger of the Tides is not really a good Magic card in the first place. Like, there's way better cards to be playing than this, so... Like, it's not a card that I ever actually want to be casting most of the time. We play it because we have to, but compared to, like, all the other decks, like, Harbinger is really bad. They're gonna play the Frog here, I can tell. Yeah, they're gonna play Frog. I can't attack with the Lord of Atlantis into this thing. So, I can tick the Vial up here. They have the basic Swamp here to play around the Harbinger of the Seas. My best hope is that they attack and then I can just use Harbinger to bounce this thing, but they're just going to recast it, so it's not like it's going to do a whole lot. Alright, pass. Sure, I guess. Alright, well, there's a Toxic Deluge. This card is also incredibly dangerous. Like, they have Deluge here, which they can actually cast. So what are my options here? I know that they have Deluge, right? So if I commit Harbinger, I'm basically just admitting defeat. What do I do here? Like, if I block this thing, I'm just gonna dump it. You know what? That's actually probably worth it, because if they do dump a bunch of cards into this, then it actually is fine. They have to discard 3 cards, and if they discard 3 cards, then I will actually just bounce it with Harbinger of the Tides. That's a trade I'm willing to make. Sure. They're going to make it a 3/4. All right, well, guess what? Okay, I don't understand how this is helping you. Throwing more counters in this thing is... I guess they're thinking I'm going to put another Lord into play, but there's no reason not to wait to see what I put into play here. That doesn't make sense. They threw away an extra card that they didn't actually need to. So I guess they only needed to put 2 counters on it, right? Alright, whatever. I'm willing to make them waste 2 cards, but... They have Deluge, and they're going to have to actually, like, use it here. But we get to at least attack them for a fair bit of damage, and then we'll play Harbinger of the Seas again. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll draw a Flare of Denial or a Force of Negation right now. I'm going to tick this up. Actually, yeah, I do want to tick this up because they're going to tap out for Flare, and I definitely want to play it. Or they're going to tap out for Deluge, and I want to be able to put this into play at the end of turn. Sure. What happens if I play this Lord of Atlantis right now? So right now I'm attacking them for 6. If I play the Lord of Atlantis, I get to add another 6 damage, so I'd attack them for 12. Put them to 7. They're going to be at 5. I mean, I'm very strongly considering playing this right now, because they won't be able to block anything. Yeah, 4, 4, and 3. So, or no, I'm sorry. Hold on. Yeah, am I doing math right? 4, 4, and 3. So 11 damage. That puts them to 8, and they're gonna go to 6. No, but then they'll have to pay 3 life. So they'll go to 5. Yeah. Okay, that is it works out. They go to 5. I have Harbinger in play to attack them, so they're at 3, and the best they can do is play like a frog again. I play Dockhand, like maybe I can race them. Alright, seems worth it. Yeah, so in order for Deluge to kill everything that eats their entire turn plus 3 life, so they'll go to 5, I have Harbinger in play, and they paid 4. I guess they were worried that I was gonna... Okay, that's even better. Okay, sure. They must... Yeah, they were worried that I was going to put a Lord or something, or maybe a Glasspool Mimic in play in response. I guess that's a reasonable concern. I tick the Vial up, Glasspool could fuck them, so... That's also very good. I think they have to play the Frog here, right? So... Pretty sure I can just play Dockhand, because then even if they play a blocker, I still have a 2-turn clock. They don't actually have anything relevant to bring back yet, so... Yeah, even if they kill the board again, Mutavault is still going to kill them, so sure. Yep. I think that... They have 1 card in hand. What are the odds it's a Spell Snare? Solitude? Oh my god. I can't beat the Solitude, I guess. What are they going to go after here? They're going after the Dockhand, I guess. And then I'm just flashing in Hexcatcher at the end of turn. This is still not the end of the world. That is so incredibly risky. You have to have something, right? Because this threatens to just kill you. Another frog? Okay. So what? I attack with both of these things. You have to block this. You take 1. I just play another Harbinger. If you want, you can put discard 2 cards in order to kill this. Sure. You do have to do this though. It puts them to 1 and turns off fetch lands. They discard Vengeance. Here's the other thing to consider. I do have Mutavault still here. Which means I might just let them have some mana right now. They're at 1. They didn't know this card existed, but it's so cool. Yeah, it is. Alright. So if they just pass here, I just Vial and Harbinger, and hopefully that's going to do it. So then I have 3 attackers here. I probably think one of these might be safe to attack with. No, they can't, because they have to block both of these things. Okay. Alright, well, they're not attacking and we're not attacking here because we can't do anything with the Mutavault yet, so... I was hoping to bait them into swinging at me. They're asking, am I hiding extra copies of Harbinger in weird places? Yeah, you don't want to know. We are looking for like a Lord of Atlantis in order to get there. I guess a Trickster would also do it. Okay, well that fetch land is never doing anything, so... Nope, it's not what we need here. Well, they've discarded 2 Vengeances. They cannot cast Deluge, so that's good. Vengeance will never do anything as long as we have Force up. You hear they're banned in airports unless... You're very lucky to have been recently the recipient of a Merfolk-based beating, so you know to fetch basics. Yeah, so most people don't have that level of awareness. Alright, so they're giving this thing flying. They really want to draw a card here. So I'm guessing this means that they have, like, another blocker. He faced Merfolk and an RCQ. Okay, I got you. I'll show the chat. He's playing energy and won the match, but lost game 2 to Harbinger. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically the only way we win. Sided out Blood Moons, just in case you forgot, yeah. Okay. So they get to draw a card here. Yep, so there is that. Unfortunately, if we had Flare of Denial instead of Force of Negation here, actually we would have, like, just killed them. But unfortunately, Force is not going to do the trick yet. Oh, fucking hell. Again, like, we just need, like, anything. Literally anything, and, like, we could possibly, like, win this game, but... Just drawing, like, lands when we don't need them. This is such a winnable game. Everyone and their grandma is playing energy. Yeah, no, that's... Okay. Sure, they're going to give it flying again. They're taking the very safe route of just trying to amass cards at the moment, so... Mm. Alright. They're going in with 2 things now. Okay, interesting. Alright, well... I'm assuming this means they have another one of these things to block with, so... We're really just looking for, like, a Lord or a Trickster here. Something we can play and then have Force back up. But it's also likely they have, like, another Solitude or something at this point. They've drawn enough cards where they could reasonably do that. Emperor of Bones. Oh, fuck. That's not nice. Alright, come on. Give me a Lord! You know what? I'll take it. That'll do the trick. I have to go for this, right? I have 5 cards left. I'm not going to get a better chance here. He said he's playing Goryo's because he's borrowing it for a tournament, but it's surprisingly good after the Grief Man. Yeah. Alright, we win. That was so hard! Oh my gosh. Alright, I don't think I really changed very much. You paid too much life for Deluge. Uh... Yeah, I'm saying, like, maybe Mimic was the reason. Alright. Is there anything that I want to change here? Oh, he said he just didn't think. Alright, well. I almost kind of want another one of these Dismembers. So maybe just take out a Specimen for this. They don't seem, like, that good here. Vaguely is like, I don't know what you could have that's 3 in pumps. Alright. This is a fucking awful hand. We have basically nothing. We're gonna die if we keep this. We've both mulliganed to 6. This hand is a lot better. Okay. Yeah. We do this. So what do we want to keep here? We're on the draw. Probably just get rid of a Harbinger. We can go like Minamo, Vial, then Mutavault, take Vial up, then turn 3. If we don't draw a land, Vial in Master, animate Mutavault, attack, and then turn 4, Harbinger, and then we have Trickster we can cast, so... we're both on 6, so... Okay. Well, it's not ideal. It's not useless, but... Alright, come on, please no frog. Okay, it doesn't look like they have frog. Guess that's fine. We'll just play the other Vial. We're still probably on the same plan. If we draw a blue source, then I might consider casting Harbinger, but he's definitely going to find basic Swamp here for sure. The only reason he wouldn't is if he has Solitude in hand. He does find basic Swamp. Tainted Indulgence, okay. There's an Atraxa in the graveyard. That is not a good sign. There's a Thoughtseize. Goodbye, Harbinger. Actually, honestly, you might not even take Harbinger here. Like, you might take Master of the Pearl Trident in this position. Like, Harbinger almost hurts me as much as it hurts him. I honestly think Master might be the correct thing to take. Yeah, because this isn't actually affecting his mana at all, so... Unless I draw a blue source, I can't even cast it anyway, and it's not clear that I want to. Yeah, he does take Master, so I think that's correct. So we really would like to draw, like, I don't know, Flare of Denial. Alright, tick these both up. Sinking to Stupor is not bad. If I keep Harbinger, I can use it next turn. And I guess we're just going to keep Trickster in case of Atraxa. Yeah. There's Frog. Okay. You know what? That's okay. Um... Hmm. Actually, I don't need to do anything here yet. That's actually very good. Okay. We actually have choices now. Not that worried about the frog hitting me all of a sudden. He's only got 2 mana, and I do have this sink into Stupor, so if I don't attack with the Mutavaults, I can cast it. But I mean, I guess the only thing I'm worried about is if he does have like the Goryo's Vengeance, then I really want to be able to sink it. So this turn might be a good turn to just Trickster the Frog, and then maybe I can make an attack in my turn. Let's see. If he actually tries to do something, then I can just Violin Harbinger and then cast Sync. I'm gonna attack. I may as well build up a much bigger board first. Let's see, what are you gonna do here? They're gonna tap out. Sure. Okay. They did choose Goryo's Vengeance. Okay, so I definitely am going to put Harbinger in play. I'm going to put Lord of Atlantis in play. Keep Sync up, and then I can attack them for 6, and then I'm not dead yet. Alright. That doesn't really do anything right now. This does give us the opportunity to potentially win if we draw another Lord. We will not be doing that, opponent. I would much rather try to have chances to win this game. Yeah, you may as well attack because you're not blocking. Alright, we do need to draw something good this turn, though. That actually is close. I actually no, that might do it. So I can throw away fishes to counter the vengeance now. So that dies. They go to 1, and I have enough fishes to counter Goryo's vengeance. I think here the cool thing I can do is I can actually sacrifice Harbinger of the Tides. Or Harbinger of the Seas, I mean. Because I now have unlocked my Mutavaults. So now I have 4 lethal attackers. He's very dumb. He says, I mean, I still lose, I think, but he has a land in his hand. Yeah. Good games. Alright. So. Alright, well, fuck. We had to, like, fight very hard for that, but at least we're on the board. It's not a complete shutout tonight. So I guess we are playing the last match. Alright, this is for dignity, I guess. Get something back here, but yeah, this has been a very brutal night for Magic. Oh, fuck. This is exactly what I'm talking about, though. Psychic Frog is, like, absolutely busted. The card is insane. But the thing is, it's not really good in our deck because our deck is not optimized to protect it. The decks that it's really good in are the decks that get value out of discarding cards from it, or the decks that are going all in to protect it. So that's stuff like Murktide, or like combo decks like we just saw. Like in Legacy, it's stuff like Reanimator, and or like Vintage, it's also like Reanimator that really wants it. Like all the Luris decks can play it because they can just discard stuff with it and then use Luris to cast it out of the graveyard. So yeah, it's insane fucking value there. Or, you know, like I said, Murktide, where they can just dedicate like a ton of counter spells to protect it. Merfolk is not a terribly good shell for it because we're trying to play a bunch of creatures that don't really synergize with it. It's a card you want to either you want it to give you value by protecting it with discarding stuff, or you want it to give you, or you want to just go like very heavy on protecting it. And I don't think we do either one of them particularly well. So, while I think that there's some value to playing blue-black Merfolk with it, I don't think we're the best deck to be playing that. And if you want to play Psychic Frog, I don't think that you should be playing Merfolk. Which is, again, is my problem with this, because the card is like ridiculously good, and like we should want to be playing with it. And the problem is, if we want to be playing with it, we shouldn't be playing other Merfolk in the deck. So, all right, we're on the play. This is, I guess, this is an okay hand. It's not really great, but we're gonna keep it. We can draw if we can not like flood out for the rest of the game, then maybe. But like, they've mulliganed, so that's a plus. All right, let's see. I might have to be sandbagging this Lord of Atlantis for a little while. Until I can protect it with my specimen. Oh, this is not good. That's Eldrazi Temple. So is this like... This could be Eldrazi Tron, or it could be like the... It's more likely the Through the Breach deck. That deck's been really popular lately. Alright, in that case, then, I do think we actually need to play this thing. Dismember is not a bad pickup. I'm not sure how useful Specimen's really going to be in this matchup, but we'll see. Mm-hmm. Oh, they chose Eldrazi. Shocking. They don't do anything here? Interesting. I'm going to actually play this on Spirit. Because I really want to play Kira right now. I was literally just thinking, like, I was probably going to play this Cavern on Spirit anyway, just so that I would... I was very much thinking about it just so I could get this out in case I do draw it, but since we have it right now, I may as well. So I don't want to risk, like, flooding into more lands here, so... And... Sure. What are we doing here with 3? They are going to make one token and draw a card. All right. Oh fuck, they chose 0 by accident, I think. They scried 0 and draw a card. Whoopsie. Yeah, so they literally they missed making a token with that because they did not pay for the X correctly. That might be relevant to keeping us alive long enough to live and not regret the tale. All right. What do we got? Okay. I'm definitely ticking this up. Okay, Tide Shaper is good. So we can slow them down. I can use Tide Shaper and Dismember to get rid of their mana advantage right now. Probably the way to go. Um, they might not be able to cast spells. That's the thing I'm most concerned about here. I want to keep them off of being able to cast their green spells, so... So right now we have them on a 2-turn clock with Specimen to protect us in case somehow they get through the shield. This seems... Okay, that's dangerous. I'm going to keep Specimen in my hand right now because I don't think there's any value to playing it at the moment. There might be value in playing one of them right now. All right. So I can Otawara and bounce any blocker that they play and direct any removal away from them. So, okay. You might steal this one on the basis that they forgot to make a token with this thing. There's not really a great way to win this game, but you know what? We do what we have to. We got rid of Null Drifter. Okay. Gain 1 life for each permanent you control. Okay. Can't be countered. Hexproof from each color. Alright. They're at 12. I don't think there's any reason to do anything here. I'm just attacking for 4. Or I'm attacking for 5, right? So... They're just trying to stay alive at the moment. That's pretty good. Well, Annihilator 2. Okay, so I'm probably just going to... This thing attacks. Like, that's really bad for them, isn't it? Probably just going to flash in Hexcatcher at that point. I don't want to bounce it because they can definitely just recast it and gain life. Going to return Null Drifter to their hand. Okay. This is also very good for us, I think. Them drawing 2 cards is probably fine. Or they just evoked it, right? Okay, so what are you going to do with it? You have 3 mana here. That's probably not enough to do anything relevant. So what do they do here? I assume that in this case they probably get like a Ghost Quarter or something. No, they got a Hedge Mage. That doesn't seem very good, right? You're still just dead now. I mean, you probably don't know that, but okay, well, I think we just win. It would have been nice to find Harbinger at some point during this game, but I guess we're okay without it here. Yeah, okay. Again, if they attack me, do I even care? I'm just gonna flash in Hexcatcher, right? Because then I just have 7 damage coming across, because this will be 2, 2, and 3. Yeah, okay, well, it doesn't really matter at all, does it? This thing does not have reach or anything like that. No. Okay, we win. Okay, we have a chance. All right. So what? Trickster seems like that's probably fine, and Spreading Seas probably is okay. I don't know how good Kira is here. Like it's the flying seems like it helped with it. I think Force is probably bad. I don't think Flare of Denial is probably not very good either, but it's we have to be careful because they do have some spells that can be really dangerous. Uh, mm, all right. What spells do I need to be most concerned about? I mean, it's definitely possible that Through the Breach is a thing that we need to worry about. I mean, the One Ring is also very possible that we need to worry about that too. There's so many versions of this, like that it's not easy to know. Okay. The thing is, the counter spells might be more relevant than I'm thinking about. And you know what? Kira is probably not as good. The Dismembers are probably also not that great either. You know what? We might need the Forces just because of like the One Ring. The only thing that sucks is I don't really know how good, like, the creatures are here. I think I'm just gonna do it like this and hope for the best. Alright. This is a really, really bad hand. They've mulled to 6, and so are we. This is a much better hand. We might just be on the mana denial plan here. Probably just going Spreading Seas and the Harbinger of the Seas. Which means keep, we'll just put Trickster away. And hoping that their rollout is not good. Okay, well, Labyrinth is not ideal. That's actually a pretty good draw, because it gives us something to do on turn 1, so. And it works with our mana denial plan. Ideally, we're just going to keep them from casting anything important, so. Yeah, okay. Sure. Let's see. This gets them to 4 mana, so I think that because of the One Ring, we probably need to go after Labyrinth. They're just gonna kill this thing, draw a card. That's actually okay. Oh, neat. Okay. Alright. Hopefully Harbinger of the Seas is gonna hurt them. Dismember? Yeah, that figures. You didn't have to float the mana for that, actually, so. Alright, well, that makes this significantly worse. Here is the One Ring, I'm assuming? No, they're casting an Eldrazi. Okay, Thought Not. Okay, so they're just going to take Master the Pearl Trident. So we play Master plus Dockhand. We draw a land. I guess we play the Aether Vial too. It's not, like, over yet. We did take out the Dismember, so... They only have 2 cards left, so maybe we can get there. Could have played that Hexcatcher first, I guess, but... I guess this incentivizes them not to attack with Thought Knot Seer. I guess my only concern is if they play another Thought Knot, I really don't want them to take my Master of the Pearl Trident, so... That, yeah, I'd rather have it in play. Like, if they're going to take another card, I would rather they take this. Even though if I play this first, I can get to attack for more damage, assuming everything goes to plan. I don't think they're going to attack. No, they attack. That's probably not a good sign. Oh, they do have another one. See, it worked out, but the problem is now, like, this Thought Knot is just going to ruin our lives, alright? I need, like, Harbinger, right? Did I bring them in? No. Well, that's a little bit late. That doesn't do anything here. No, I don't need, I have nothing to, like, do this. I think we're going to actually die to these things. I don't think I have any way of defeating double Thought Knot Seer plus like 2 removal spells. Ow, that was my wrist. Yeah, they have effectively just ruined my entire strategy here, so... I have the Tricksters, but the thing is, bouncing the Eldrazi back to their hand is usually not a very good plan, so that we know they're on Thought Knot Seer. So maybe they're playing a more traditional list than some of the other ones. They might not be playing the Through the Breach version. Alright, what do I need here? I guess Trickster keeps us in here for a little bit longer. Okay, that's gonna do it. I'm not defeating that, so... Okay. So let's reassess this. Dismember might be a little bit better than I gave it credit for. Because I do have Thought Knot, so... Okay. Which also means if that's what they're on, then they might not actually have the One Ring. Which means that we probably don't need the Force of Negations. The flares are not terribly good either, but they're not useless. It's still like it's not easy to say. Like again, there's so many versions of this that the lists are like all over the place. We don't know exactly what strategy they're on here. Hmm. You know, I haven't seen them cast like Ancient Stirring, so I'm inclined to believe that they're not playing that. All right. All right, this is it. This is for Dignity. This hand's actually okay. Play Aether Vial. Then turn 2, we can just start tide shaping their lands and then use Dockhand to keep them off of doing relevant things. Sure, I'm fine with tapping that thing. I don't want them to playing their ramp creatures. Seiju, okay. Interesting. I am sort of tempted to actually tap this thing down with Dockhand to see if we can get a better thing to Tide Shaper this turn. Our next turn. And instead then just play the other Aether Vials. feel like they have Dismember, though. That's what they're debating here. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. They really want that green man. And the thing is, if we played the Tide... I guess we could have played Tide Shaper and that, but you know what? Guess what? Is this Thought Not Seer? It's gonna suck if it is. I think it is. Yeah, okay. Well, they take another Tide Shaper, so... Okay, well, we have a bajillion mana sources, and them having both Dismember and Thought Knot was not good. We did not want to see a third Aether Vial for sure. This was bad. Yes. Yes. And, actually, I think yes. That's actually very good. I very much want that. Let me draw a better card. Fucking fantastic. Life is amazing. Everything worked out. Because now they have no colorless mana. They only have islands. Somehow, some way, Svyelun provides. Because now they have no actual mana to, like, cast any of their spells. Sure, you have an island. Hopefully they don't have anything to cast. Alright, we go up, up, and not. Actually, you know what? I will leave that one on 1 just in case we draw another Dockhand. Okay. Alright, we just need our opponent to miss on finding anything relevant for 2 turns. It's another land that doesn't do anything. That Dismember on that Thought Knot was fucking huge. Brought us back from the brink, and then we found the one card that saves our ass here. That doesn't really do anything, but sure. I guess if they have like removal for Harbinger, we can bounce it and then put it back in play, maybe. Well, they can't use Dismember now, so I think they're just sunk. Alright, we won. Didn't really feel like that was very convincing, but... So what? We lost against Boros Energy, which we expect that's probably going to be the case, so... Yeah, that's... We did our best against it, and Chalice just wasn't enough to slow them down there. We lost against Murktide, and we lost against the... Dimir Murktide, and, like... Is it one, I think? It would be Esper, Goryo's, and then, Eldrazi Trump. Yeah, well, Eldrazi aggro, I think, so... That was a very, very hard-fought 2-3. That was... I don't know. Alright, let's look at this. It felt like it was a lot worse than it was. Because we were fighting kind of uphill battles against not having cards when we really needed them. And, like... do we ever... Can we see our league here? Okay, sure. Yeah, like, because... Like, these were, like, pretty close matches where, I mean, if we didn't, like, stall out in them, then we probably could have gotten there, but it still feels really bad, right? And I guess, like, I really want, like, all the Cavern of Souls, but I don't think we can reasonably play all the Cavern of Souls. I already, like, am down to 2 Mutavaults with this, so I think, like, 3 and 2 is probably the best you're gonna get, but... I don't know. If I noted any one thing, I don't think Svyelun was doing a good job in the main deck. I feel like maybe Svyelun should not be in our main. I'm not even sure like what matches I really want her for at this point. Because almost everything is just going to kill us regardless, so... We do have to worry about more sweepers. We saw like a bunch of Toxic Deluges today, and like Pyroclasm, so... There's some reason to, like, like the idea of having a 4 toughness creature, but at the same time, that's really what the counter spells are for, and we just have to hope to have them at the right time, I guess. I don't know. I feel like maybe Harbinger of the Tides is probably better than Svyelun in the main deck here. Kira actually felt like she was still pretty good. There was still a few times when we played Kira and yeah, she protected her creatures. Her flying was enough to get through some board stalls here, so I was kind of happy to see that. I'm not sure how irrelevant the Hexcatcher was. Like, I don't know. I could see like taking out these 2 Svyluns here and maybe like moving one of these Hexcatchers to the sideboard and just bringing in like 3 Harbingers here. Because I feel like they're gonna help us against Murktide, and like they do something against the energy deck, even if it's not a lot. So think about that at least. I don't know. It's really rough though. It was a really demoralizing start to this league, and we had to fight very hard to pull back from it. So yeah, I don't have much. It's like it did not seem like we were gonna walk away from this league with any play points. So we take what we can get, I guess. Whereas last week we felt like we were easily on the brink of like going 4-1. This week it really felt like we were on the brink of going 1-4. Yeah, that was. And what? We also have to consider our Eldrazi opponent missed making an Eldrazi Scion in the first game. I think that would have actually mattered quite a lot, because he could have used it to block or potentially ramp out a creature faster, so... It's not even that convincing that we beat that deck. I guess if we move like Harbingers into the main deck, we might actually consider playing Consigned to Memories in the sideboard. They actually do... the part of the issue is they do have like Cavern of Souls, but they do counter like Kozilek's Return in the One Ring, so there are a bunch of spells that they counter that are still relevant, and they don't always have Cavern, so it can help there. Yeah, it might be worth trying. I'm not sure. That's just there's not a like I don't have a lot of other better ideas for that slot. I'm not sure what else is going to make a huge difference. I honestly think Merfolk is just going to struggle a lot right now. It's mostly because of Boros, so... The things that we want to do against Boros are going to hurt us against Murktide, so... I don't know, that's just how I feel about it. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see how it shapes out. But that's kind of where my thought process is with it anyway, so... Alright, that's all I've got for today. I know it's not like the greatest stream today, but we tried. We walked away with at least something. So we didn't like completely scrub out of this league. Like it was a lot closer than it feels. Because like I said, we had 2 like 1-2s that like could have been a victory if like we had just drawn a little bit better towards the end. And I think one of the games like I did screw up with the. Or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't Dimir Murktide. It was fuck the rack deck. That's sorry, I totally blanked on that. No, it was yeah, we lost against the rack deck, which honestly we should do okay against that deck. It's just we can get them into a late game. Sometimes you can just the Harbinger should be pretty good against them. I mean, Chalice is usually pretty good against them, but they found the engineered explosive sometime. Yeah, and I did punt with the Tide Shaper. If I had not thrown away Tide Shaper, that game was definitely within reach. So yeah. I don't know. It definitely felt a lot worse than it was. So yeah, all right. That's all I got for today. I'll see you guys next week, and take it easy, everybody.